What's up everyone, how's it going? Today I'm going to show you how to remove the tailgate from your Ford Bronco. This is specifically on the two-door, but I believe it is generally the same for the four-door. The only tools that you will need are a trim pry tool, a Phillips screwdriver, a couple sockets here. For the wheel, it is easier to take it off, so I will be doing that. It is a 19 millimeter, and I'll put on screen now the actual size for the bolts that actually hold the tailgate on, and preferably a trim pry tool, or like a pin removal tool like this, but if you don't have it, a flathead screwdriver can work. So unfortunately I'm not the best equipped today, but first, just the wheel has so much weight, it's going to be way easier to remove it before removing the tailgate. So this is going to be 19 millimeter lug nuts here. Now you're going to just pull the wheel straight off, and you do want to be especially careful of this plastic here, so make sure you get it all the way off before starting to lower it. Now the order in which we're going to do this is first, this bottom plastic piece comes off. We're going to lift this up to help do that. Then we're going to pry away just about this area of the side, since this does extend all the way back, just about that much, so we can remove the electrical connector. We're going to take the hydraulic support off, and then remove that trim in there, which is going to expose the actual bolts. So the first thing I'm going to do is open this up, and you can even just use your fingers if you want, otherwise a trim pry tool. And we're just going to pull this piece straight up, like so. So next up is the side piece. There is one tab down there, that's why we needed to remove the center trim, and now we're basically just going to go around, and this has plastic pins that go straight in like that. So you're just going to get under it like this, and pry out. Then again, this bottom one you have to pry up on. So you'll see it'll pry out now, like this. And this actually gives us enough room to disconnect the connector. So now you can see this gray one in here, and there's just going to be a tab on this side, and it's actually very easy to disconnect. Alright, so now we need to pull this off of here. I am going to use the nylon pry tool so we don't damage the paint. And you are just going to want to lever it straight out so that it doesn't damage the plastic piece, because the sort of barbs in there that help keep it in are notorious for breaking. Alright, so now we need to do this one, and my pry tool doesn't open quite wide enough, so I'm going to switch to the metal one, and to protect the paint I am going to be using this microfiber. So you want to get just under it, and pull it straight out like that, and that is what it looks like on the inside. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and remove the hydraulic support. It's very easy. It's just a standard connection that most cars use. So there's just this little divot here that you need to get your tool into. And this will just pop that clip up, like so. And then this comes off. So now it's time for the bottom, and just so you know, at this point, the door is prone to swinging, so you do need to be more careful about that. Alright, now we have whatever in Imperial is equivalent to a 10 millimeter. And we're just going to remove these two screws right here. Now we're going to have 4 Phillips head screws here, 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 and here. So now you're going to take this tool again, you're going to get under the sort of washer part here. And remove it like so. Alright, so now with your trim pry tool, you're just going to put it sort of behind here. And you should be able to, just with your fingers, pull it out like so, and at the top, just going to pull it down a little bit. And out like that. Alright, so now there's going to be 4 13 millimeter bolts here. So once you get those 2 bolts out, you're going to need some help to support the door as you remove the last 2 bolts. And if you'd like, you can mark with a Sharpie or something exactly where the bolts are, but since the paint is unscuffed, you can literally see exactly where they're supposed to go to get the tailgate to line up once you have reinstalled it. Alright, and with the last bolt out, you can just pull off. Alright, now once you've done that, you can put the trim pieces back here. And you should just be able to pop these right in now. You can put these pins back in. And it might take a little bit of work to realign them. I'm gonna put these ones in also. Alright, and time for the final trim piece here. So you're gonna need to get this sort of line underneath the carpet here. And with that, you have the perfect Bronco for going, well, ironically, tailgating, or, I don't know, fitting more stuff, or whatever you're doing. You also have these D-rings that'll help with whatever you want. So, thank you guys for watching this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the very next one. As always, if you have any questions or comments or other videos you want to see me make, leave those in the comments below.